Okay, so you mentioned one little change. Do you want to dive into more changes?
Yeah, of course, of course. Like I didn't find a whole lot of changes. I found some things that were missing. I think we could have mentioned it last time. Obviously, in a lot of these we could have mentioned last time, but the tree salesman does not exist in the actual film.
Right. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that too because I have the DVD, and when you open the DVD, at least the one that I have, there's a photo of him in front of the sign and the whole family's there. So they did film it. It just didn't end up in the cut.
Interesting. I think it doesn't need to be there. Like,
No, no, because the expression on his face, cutting straight to the tree being on top of the car with all of its roots, is so funny.
yeah, I agree. One thing I just wanted to say, it's funny that this film it feels longer than it is because it's only an hour and 37 minutes, where like the film that we just did, Scrooged, was over or just over 2 hours, I believe. And this
Hmm.
feels longer to me than Scrooge did.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. They even had scenes cut and everything. It's crazy. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Any other changes?
Just like little lines here and there. Like I know that you can see that this wasn't in the script and it is in the movie where all of the executives or assistants to Clark's boss are walking by him and he's
Mm.
like, Merry Christmas to you, kiss my ass, kiss his ass. I always love that little
Yeah.
bit and it's not in the script.
Yeah.
And then also with his boss again when he goes in to see him and his boss like fully doesn't want to talk to him and he just like picks up the phone and asks his assistant to get him someone and then he's like and get me someone while I'm waiting for that someone. And I always thought that line was
Yeah.
so funny too.
Yeah.
Oh, and in that scene, those gifts that are behind him, and all of the gifts look the same. I was like, what is this gift supposed to be? And apparently, when this was filmed, one of the most popular gifts was like a pen set. It was like pens and
Oh.
a pad of paper, like little kind of notes. You would see that the like long horizontal box is the pen, and then the one that's vertical is like the notepads. And it was just a popular like office gift. So that's why they're all the same.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. So he has a bunch of those. That would suck. He probably doesn't even look at them. He just regifts them.
Oh, for sure. And then,
Uh,
I don't know if I have really another big difference. I do just want to highlight that I freaking love two things that weren't written into the script, but I guess were just little improvs from Beverly D'Angelo. One is when she kisses Clark, but she kisses her like pinky finger and then puts it in his dimple and walks out of the room. I was like, what is that? So cute.
cute.
And then
Yeah.
also when the cops come in at the ending and they all freeze and her
Mm.
hand is on Clark's like private parts, I always thought that was so funny. And she like shakes the officer's hand and then her hand goes back to his privates afterwards. Apparently
Yeah.
she did that in one take, only one take. That was just like a little idea of hers and it was the one they chose. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You couldn't go with anything else, eh?
no.
Well, speaking of Ellen, I did notice. I don't think the smoking scene was in the
Yes.
script. Yeah, where
Yeah.
she's smoking and then she gets called out by her mother the instant she starts smoking.
Yeah. I feel like that is what would happen though. Like mother's intuition. There's this weird thing with mothers and daughters that it's like they know when you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
I guess so. I don't know. I guess boys can just get away with things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another
Yeah.
little tiny piece that they took out, which was in the script, was the Rocky bit my thumb part. So Ruby Sue wakes up
Mm,
and she walks into the kitchen and sees Clark and thinks it's Santa. At that part, he's like, "Why are you up?" And she's like, "Rocky bit my thumb." And then it just cuts to them talking about Santa Claus. But in the script, you find out why he bit her thumb, and it's because he's gotten in trouble for sucking his own thumb. So instead,
yeah.
he sucks her thumb, which was so
Yeah.
funny.
It's a
Like, what a
cute little
second.
moment. Yeah.
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 And then, of course, the script ends with Snot humping Clark's leg, which is like
Does
to
he
bring it full
actually
circle.
though?
The script it does, but the movie it
Oh,
doesn't.
the script it does. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's always how I thought the movie ended too. Because the dog's there and the dog's staring up at him. But I always assumed in my mind I like filled in that gap that he was humping because they set that up earlier in the script and in the film.
Yeah, no, it seems like such a softer like moment at the end. It doesn't go out on
Mhm.
a joke. It just goes out on like him having his fantastic Christmas sort of thing, which I think is
Yeah,
gives it a little bit more heart.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't think I was ever gonna say this, but I do miss that dog humping. Um,
It would have been
um,
funny. It would have been
yeah.
funny.
The scene where the grandparents first arrive, it's
Mhm.
so much cleaner. Like I did like the way they set it up in the script, but it's just so much better in the film, and you need those back and forths in the film, whereas in the script I don't know, maybe you did, maybe it was weird, but it just feels like the scene flows a lot better.
Oh, totally. There were less lines. Like in the script, they said so
Mhm.
much more stuff, but in this, it must have had to have been like super choreographed because
Yeah.
like everyone moving to somebody new, even though it looks improv. You know, speaking to that, I really believe everyone as these characters. Maybe it's because I was
Hmm.
introduced to all those actors like in this movie, so it was like fairly young, but I just fully believe that this is a family. And in everything else after it, I've been like, oh, those are the people from Christmas Vacation. And I can't really shake those performances, except for maybe Galecki and Juliette Lewis.
Oh, one change I missed earlier was the advent calendar, I think, was a bigger part in the script, and it highlighted the different characters that were visiting the home. In the film, I think there might have been different hands, but there was nothing special about the different hands changing the advent calendar.
Yeah, true, true, true.
Yeah. That was my last difference, but yeah, I have other things I'd like to say.
Yeah. Just before we leave the advent calendar, I only paid attention to like I think it was like already half an hour into the film and it like he opens the door for the 18th and I was like, "Wait a second. The 18th. This family has had like a family Christmas with two sets of parents for like by the time Christmas hits for an entire week.
Yeah,
That's
that's crazy.
insane. That's brutal. Like there's no
No,
way.
that's
Like
way
wait,
too much.
how do you get past like 2 days, let alone like without having a family hiccup, let alone a whole week? I don't know if that's just our experience or what, but I was like, wow. Kudos to
You
you. Of
know,
course things are gonna happen the way they happen because you just can't be that close to family for that long.
yeah.